Folks, here we are again, day 4 of the Cheltenham Festival, and we're going in heavy again against ITV Racing. But before we do, just to let you know, I did the scores on the doors earlier. Today scores on the doors for Friday, which is the last day of the festival. On there, I've made a mention about the tipping comp. If you see this video and you've not seen that, go and see that. It's that video where you need to put in the comment section how you've done in the tipping comp over the 4 days. I actually got 210 points. I'm happy with that. I bet you I'm nearer the top than the bottom. I would imagine I've got the best score of any of us today. I think I've done well today. I think it was very hard today. But I had a day or two that let me down. But I'm not in the comp. Well, I am, but I can't win. If I am in front, whoever came second is going to win it. So put your results in the comment section there. I'll check them tomorrow. Let me know your total points. I'll go back over the stuff that you've given us. If I agree with them, I'll announce it on Saturday, Sunday and say this up to now is the winner. Can anybody beat this score? If they can, I'll take on all comers, and if they can't, within sort of 3 or 4 days, you'll get a bank transfer into your bank for the what was discussed. Right, ITV Racing. I'm going to go from top to bottom. Before I carry on with this, let me just answer a question here. These bits I'm going to go through with you. Hopefully we'll answer them. Mandy put in the comment section last night, well, if you dislike ITV Racing that much, why don't you watch RTV or RUK, whatever it's called now? And I know where she's coming from. I know that 100%. I've said before, I prefer RUK. Think it's a better product, better presenters. I like the way it's done. There's 2 reasons I don't watch RUK, especially when a festival's on. When a festival's on, ITV devote all the time to the races and nothing else. Often with RUK, RTV, they're going from course to course, and I really don't like that. I love the talk, even though it's ITV people, in between races, and when they talk to trainers and owners and so on and so forth, and they tell you what's happening in the race with this horse and that horse. I like all of that. So that's one reason I watch ITV, for all I think the presenters and the product is crap. The other reason I watch it is because it is that crap. I mean, when all said and done, I've got a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel at the moment that isn't doing as well as it should. I would hope it would, but it will get better. But we've got many people, it's all about interaction and comments and commenting to one another and exchanging messages. A lot of people, especially of my age group, feel the same about the ITV Racing product. It's our flagship show. It's the biggest show that we've got. It's our TV screen to the world. And I just think it's being abused because I just don't think it's good enough and professional enough. And it's light years behind the Channel 4 offering. Absolutely light years behind. And we need to discuss it, we need to talk about it, but as well as that, for all I'm only a small channel and for all the views aren't what I would like them to be, now and again I do an ITV Racing thing that might get watched by 4, 5, 6,000 people. There's one I did 2 days ago, it's got watched about 1,200, which isn't a lot, but with the numbers I'm doing at the moment, it's a lot more than many of my videos. And what can happen is, there can be somebody on that ITV Racing programme, or an executive or whatever else, just flicking through YouTube, come across this and see it. They might not like what I say, they might not agree with what I say, but they'll probably then go and listen to other videos that I've done and think that somebody just may think, well, wait a minute, they've got a point here. We are harping on about this, harping on about that. We are doing this, that and the other, when really we should be doing this, this and this. And they are right there because this is what we're doing and this is what RTV are doing, and that product is better for these reasons. So things can change with people's opinion. And I've got no way of giving mine and our opinion to ITV. But they see something on YouTube, for all it's only in a bedroom studio and whatever else, with an old grey-haired bloke talking to a laptop, somebody might just take notes, and you never know. You just never ever know. But there'll be a video I do somewhere that gets watched by 2,000 or 3,000. People might share it with others. And once it gets shared, then they can balloon. We might get 5, 10, 15, 20,000 watch. We've had a couple of them with the scum that are the bookies. And somewhere along the line, some people will pick up on these, and somebody else, somewhere along the line, might do something about it. Let me give you a couple of bits and pieces on today. Thoughts on today. It's not all bad about ITV Racing. This is just the thoughts on the racing today, and some of the things to do with ITV Racing. Let me know if you picked up on any of them, and let me know if you agree with them. Let me know if there's things I've missed, because I'm in and out. I was watching it most of the day, but I'm doing other things while it's on because I'm just busy. But it's one of those things. Firstly, let me just say this. I said a couple of days ago, whatever happens, I said, the spread bet for Chambo, who you know I love, going on and on and on and on and on about Michael O'Sullivan's girlfriend, I'd have bought on a spread and I'd have won loads and loads of money. And I said, although now it has passed Marine National winning and him going on about it 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 times, he mentioned her name the day Marine National won. I said, over the last 2 days of the festival, he's no reason to bring her name up. I said, but I'll have anybody money that wants a bet. Over the next 2 days, he brings the name up at least once. He didn't let me down. I think we were 15, 20 minutes into the show today. Oh, my eye spot, without a shadow of a doubt, was Michael O'Sullivan's girlfriend. It was fantastic, and the pictures came up, and I thought, I just knew he was going to do it. I just knew he was going to do it. It's how many times have we heard the word emotion and emotional this week at Cheltenham? I've never heard it at any other sporting event like they do at Cheltenham. Now, I know there's some things that were and that are. I get that. And I get sometimes people like to know stories and whatever. I get that. But they don't want it constantly rammed down folks' throats. And that's all they seem to be doing, ITV. And he's the worst. That's it. He really, really is. There's something I never wrote on here. That little bit that they did with him trying to open some sweets and Ruby Walsh commented on it, showing the pictures. That was funny. He had a bit of a dig at Ruby, saying, "Oh, I can't wait to see whoever it might be doing the bits in your van or whatever he sits in, lorry, for Aintree." Not a bad riposte, not so bad. But then, when they went a little bit later to show Ruby there with his feet up in between races, he tried to make a joke of that and get his own back on Ruby, and it just fell flat on its face. It wasn't very funny. Whereas what Ruby did with the sweets was, he just doesn't like to be pulled out, Ed. Well, he wouldn't like this channel then, because that's all I ever do. Right, thoughts on today. Sam Tristan Davis, well, you know, as they're walking in, Chapman speaks to the jockeys. I thought that was brilliant what Tristan Davis said. He said, are you happy with Sam? Running a really good race. You know, that's the favourite East India Dark. He said, well, I'm happy and disappointed at the same time. I think Chapman said, well, you couldn't have done anything more. You did the best you can. He said, we were beaten 1.5 lengths. You can always do more. I thought that was fantastic as Sam Twiston. Charlotte Giles did write it down, and that was the young lady's name of Michael O'Sullivan's. And as I say, Ed mentioned it, absolutely no problem. He mentioned that, and he mentioned John Holt, because at the moment, John's in the news because of what happened to his wife and daughters. It's only a day, I think, now. Is it 2 days since Doddy the Great won? He mentioned Doddy where he was in all our thoughts that day. He mentioned he made it 10 times, well, much less than he mentioned Charlotte, but he mentioned he made it 10 times. It was all in our thoughts. A day or so later, it's not in our thoughts anymore. He's forgot it altogether. He mentioned Charlotte, he mentioned Michael O'Sullivan, mentioned John Hunt, forgot all about Doddy Way. Townend today, I thought that was weird. I don't know if you've seen it. When he won on Jasmine, he punched the air. And Alice said to him, why did you punch the air, Paul? That's not like you. And I thought to myself, that's how unprofessional you are there, Alice, because you don't know and you shouldn't know. Now, I wouldn't have known, other than something that Flat Cap Callum said. I seen his video this morning, and I think he said, and I was shocked. I was really, really shocked. The race to be top jockey, it was a 3-way tie. He'd only had 2 winners. Townend, I couldn't believe it. He'd had 2 winners. He'd had 2. Mark Walsh had 2, and Rachel Blackmore had the 2 yesterday. So he was up against it to win, and he always looked like he was going to win today. But Cargeezy was his 3rd. That one was his 4th. Galopan was coming next, which you'd expect to win, and it didn't. But he had a couple of winners there. I think Walsh had Dino Blue, so he was 4-3 up. And I think the way it was looking, Walsh wasn't going to catch him. I don't think he could have been caught, even if Galopan got beat, and he did get beat in the end. And I think that was his punch. You know, he wanted to be top jockey, and I think that's what it was all about. I think she missed it, to be honest with you. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. That was brilliant what Mark Walsh said. Mark, hey, wait a minute. I'm sure how stupid I am now, aren't I? Walsh got a 4th, didn't he? I just assumed. Oh my God. Who won it in the end? Did Walsh win on countback? Walsh won the Gold Cup, didn't he? So he won on Dino Blue today, then he won the Gold Cup. Was that 4 apiece? I think it was. Do you know what? I don't know who's top jockey, so I'm looking as stupid as Alice Plunkett there. Although I think he still punched the air thinking he'd won it, because I think he's thinking to himself, I'm 1 in front now and I'm going to go and win the Gold Cup. I'm pretty sure that's what he thought, but still, forgetting Walsh had 2 today. I don't know who was top jockey. Someone can tell me. Right, what else was there? That was brilliant, wasn't it, when Wonderwall won, and Ed did about 2 lines of Wonderwall, just talked it through. trying to be dead clever, hoping it'd go above some people's heads, and Ruby said, "Oh, that was very clever, that, Ed. That's why they pay you the big bucks." I wanted to do a song about Mr. Ed, the horse and whatever else, and then I thought, no, I won't. Was there something else? There was another couple of bits and pieces. Bear with me a sec. Yeah, they were the reasons I do ITV Racing, but weirdly, about half an hour to an hour after the last race on ITV, I watched the final race, the 7th race on RTV. And then, as I'm winding up and getting all the stuff ready, the scores and everything, to do this section and the scores on the doors, I'm flicking through YouTube, and there's an 8-minute video there. And there's an 8-minute... and I'll tell you that I'll leave the best bit till last. I forgot the best bit. There's an 8-minute video there. And on this 8-minute video there, they're reviewing the Gold Cup. They're talking to Willie Mullins about Galopan. I'd not seen that on ITV. I don't know why I'd not. But did they interview him or not? I'm sure they would have done, but I don't remember seeing it. Anyway, didn't see it on ITV. And he said, look, it just wasn't jumping. It just wasn't jumping all the way around. He said, I thought from the outset it wasn't. He said, I thought it came alive about 4 out. I was hoping it's going to come alive. It gave one good jump, and I thought, now, come on. He said, but then it still did nothing. He said it just wasn't itself. He said, along with Townsend, we think the ground was a factor, but we thought we had it 100%. The other horse was great, but just disappointing, but that wasn't the true Galopan. And you've got to say, based on what you've seen this year, it definitely wasn't. And then they interviewed himself, they interviewed Townend, and he said similar. Both gracious in defeat. But what I thought to myself was, when they interviewed them both, they both look really, really comfortable with RTV. And they look comfortable with how they're interviewed and the way the interview progresses and the questions that they're asked. Unlike Chapman, who tries to be a smart-ass and is shoving a camera up the and saying things that they don't want to hear. I mean, like, you see Luke Harvey today saying to Paul Townend, "Oh, Paul, Ruby said to her, this car, gee, she's really well handicapped or something." And Townend said, "Yeah, but Ruby's not riding it." I mean, that's putting untold pressure on Townend right at the start, saying, Ruby says he's great, you should be winning on this. Now, as it turns out, he did, but you got where Townend was coming from. He doesn't need a clown telling him things like that at the start of the race when he's looking at the first fence. He wants to be in the zone thinking about the race. He doesn't want to listen to Luke Harvey talking cack. So anyway, I sees this, and then after the interview, Mullins and Townend, they go to Mouse Morris, because I think Mouse with Fallers came third, if memory serves. Then they also went to Joseph. I thought it was brilliant. Talk about contrasting styles. They interviewed Mouse Morris first, and he's over the moon that I think he's got third place. And he's saying, he said, fantastic. He said, I'm really, really pleased. He said, tell you what, it's going to give me the chance now, he said. With the prize money, I can afford to go and get my hair cut. Have you seen his pig in hair? Unbelievable. I messaged him and I said, send him for his haircut, but tell him stop going Doddy's barbers. Don't go Ken Dodd's barbers ever again. Go on other barbers, but get some chopped off. Anyway, they interviews him, and then a minute later they interviewed Joseph O'Brien. And I thought to myself, oh, piggy hell, we've come from a bloke, Mouse Morris, where you can't see his forehead to save your life. Joseph O'Brien, you've got too much forehead. He's got a proper comb back. He's things like that, man. It's unbelievable. And I'm thinking, get some of it. He's got plenty of hair. Get some of it forward, man. You want to see Joseph? It looks strange. And you've got Mouse. Oh, anyway, back to RTV. This is what I think about RTV. I think everything about it's more professional. I think the presenters are more professional. I think the things they say, because they're more professional, are the right things. And I think people feel comfortable with them. I'm going to put you in touch with something now, folks, that you might not have seen. If you've not got RTV, you will not have seen it. RTV, late on, interviewed Gordon Elliott. They interviewed Gordon Elliott after the 7th race, which obviously wasn't on ITV, because they never the 7th race. And if you don't know it, and I'm sure you do, he had the winner. He'd waited all week for a winner, and he got his first winner in the last race. Talk about emotional. He was in floods. He was breaking down there on the camera. The pressure he's been under, I mean, he's had about 5 or 6 seconds. Couldn't get a winner again. He's had 3 or 4, by his standards, really poor Cheltenhams. They've not been good Cheltenhams for the last few years now, by his standards. And I think he's under the pump, and he said, I've got great staff, great owners. He said, but it's getting to me, and he didn't want to be interviewed. And the guy with him, and I know the guy's name, and I can't think of it, he did really well. I said, Gordon, it's fine, I get that. But can I just say about the art? And he kept him, and he went on. But not as they do on ITV. With ITV, they want to get them more upset. And you're emotional. It's all about emotion, God. We understand. Don't worry about. We don't mind you crying on here. They do all of that. On RTV, it was like he said, no, Gordon, don't get upset. We won't push you for that. But can I just say the horse? And they went more to the horse than himself and the win and his staff, because he was talking about his stable staff, his jockeys, his owners, and now he's under pressure. Now they've all stuck by him and stuff. And the guy took it away from all of that and sort of changed the subject, but in a good way, in a right way, and didn't try to make a spectacle of him breaking down and try to make him break down worse, because that's what they do on ITV. And I watched that and I thought, that on RTV that's how they should be treated, these folk, at the end of races when their emotions are all over the place. ITV do it totally differently. They want folk to break down. They want tears, and they want to be telling us that they're emotional, that they're upset, that they're tearful, and they want to be mentioned at the end of the programme. And today, when Gordon broke down, you see what it meant and blah, blah. And if Gordon had broke down on day one on ITV, they'd have still been mentioning it today, because that's what it's all about. And they think it's fantastic, and it just does your pigging head in. It really does. If you get a chance, folks, have a look at the interview on RTV today. If it's there somewhere with Gordon Elliott, I bet it's on YouTube. They handled it really, really well. Tom Stanley. See, I'm terrible. These names come to me. I think it was Tom Stanley that did it. Really, really outstanding. Much better than any interviews on ITV. Because he looked after the fella. And we got a bit more out of Gordon, but it was good anyway. Right, I'll leave that with you. Anyway, that is why I cover ITV. Because I think many of us feel the same as myself. If only we could get back to the golden days. That is our window to the world. And I don't think it's right at the moment. I just don't think it's right. They could do so much better. I mean, if they had your Nick Lux and your Lydia Islop's there, for a start, you've gone up 50, 60, 70%. They can't get the Alistair Downs there and the Big Macs and whatever, because they're no longer with us. But there's people out there that can do a better job than is being done at the moment. And for me, they need a better lead of the programme. They need a better anchor. They really do. That is unless it changes. Because he was all right with the old football, but it's just too saccharine for me. It's all saccharine and on ITV, and I don't want that. And I don't think most of us that follow this channel do. I really don't. Right, I'll leave it with you. Hope you've had a good Cheltenham.